Hey, good morning. It's Odd Musings episode number 408.
408.
Yeah, and we are heading into the 4th of July weekend.
Yes. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't believe it. Also, today marks the exact middle between January 1st, 2000 and January 1st, 2050. So, moving forward, we will be closer to the year 2050 than 2020.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. And I was on the news this morning too. So I caught a
Yeah,
little
isn't
bit
that
of today's
weird?
show. Yeah.
We're just hurtling through time and space.
Yeah. As we're getting there. It's fun. It's weird. I see all this stuff online when you look, it's like, oh, this year is closer to this than it was to this. And you think about it, going, God, it doesn't feel like it should be, but it is. And being 2025, I think about stuff. I'm going, okay, I know how old I am, but sometimes I don't feel like it. And then it's also like, it feels like, everybody talks about the 90s. And I'm going, man, it still feels like the 80s in some ways. And, should have been just like yesterday and all that stuff. But millennials are all big because the 90s were theirs and the 80s was Gen X. So,
Yeah. Well, what is it that qualifies for an oldie? 20 years for music?
I think it's 20 or 25 years. I think I wanted to say it was 25 years on like cars. I don't know how music falls anything, but let's say it's 25 years. So yeah, everything that came out in 2000 is now classic music.
So here were the top singles in the year 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Breathe by Faith Hill, Smooth Santana. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Amaze, Lone Star, Creed, Higher.
Mm-hmm.
So that is now an oldie.
Yeah.
Destiny's Child is oldies. Three Doors Down, Pink. Like it's like crazy. Like some of these songs. In Sync, It's Gonna Be Me. It's gonna be me. That's now an oldie.
It's gonna be my. Yeah.
Show me the me. I'm Big Backstreet Boys. Yeah.
Yeah. It is because it's funny. It's like what we consider classic rock is still the the stuff from the starting around like the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
And now it's, I mean, if you listen like because I get serious on my car and I like it when I'm working because I can flip around a lot. But you've got like all the different channels, and it's like they came up with like they have like a pop 2K channel, then they have the pop 2010s, and I'm going, okay, what's the difference between that? But it's like one is like earlier in the 2000s. I'm going, but it wasn't that. Oh yeah, it was 25 years ago. Yeah. But yeah, it's like now all this classic rock stuff and.
For instance, Bob Seger, his song "Old Time Rock and Roll." When we hear it now, we think of classic rock, but when he was singing that in 1979, he's actually talking about the rock from like the late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah, he's talking about the original classic rock and roll,
right? But in our mind, it's
he's
singing about the 80s.
Oh like, yeah, no. Well, it's like Bowling for Soup has their song 1985, and it came out. I think it was 2002 when it came out. So it's not like 17 years later. Let me see when it came out. Because it's like it came out in 2004, so 21 years ago. And it was talking about 19 years before that. So now we go back 19 years. It was 2006,
right?
and in the song, he's referencing like Motley Crue being classic rock in 2004,
right?
Yeah. And then questioning stuff like when did Ozzy become an actor and things like that. And I'm going, man, and Ozzy's doing his last show on Saturday, I believe it is. Black Sabbath and Ozzy doing their last performances and before they go off into oblivion. And I get a huge concert list of it. Sounds like it's gonna be a fantastic concert. They're streaming it, I guess. So
yeah,
but the great bands that he helped out over the years, like Metallica and other ones are showing up. Aerosmith's not gonna be playing, but what's his name? The lead singer is gonna be there. So I guess he's getting his voice. Yeah, Steven Tyler. He's getting his voice back, I guess. So
yeah, he had some kind of issue. I think last year they had to call off their tour. I think it was, something was going on.
His vocal cords and something else was going on with that. So
yeah,
but so kind of cool. That so we got Kevin chiming in there. Hey, Kevin.
Kevin, yep. Hey.
All right.
Yep. Kevin gave me the notice the other day. The final original artwork for our Last Light Kickstarter ship. So everything is 100% fulfilled.
Nice. There we go.
Your microphone keeps going out to like you're crystal clear, and then it sounds like you're far away. Right now, you sound far away.
Okay, how's that?
They're far away. Like I don't know if there's something not plugged in fully because it seems to be going back and forth.
No, I got everything there. Let me try this. I clicked you where I can automatically adjust for the mic volume.
Yeah, you sound like you're in the other room talking now.
Okay. Well, let me go out and come back in. You can run your ad.
While he's doing that, I'll show off my Buc-ee's cup.
Well, and run your ad.
There you go. Team Titans of Real Estate. Why? Because you matter. That's right. Even though we utilize the latest in tools and technology to maximize your home buying and or selling experience, we never forget, at the core, it's still people business. And that's what Jill and I do. We take care of your people needs. And here's our phone number in the corner here. In the comments, 586-232-5144. 4th of July is usually a slow week. Everyone's doing their vacations and stuff, but we usually get a little surge again once everybody returns. So if you're thinking about buying or selling a house, give us a call. It's free. It's free to talk to us. It's free for us to do a market analysis of your home and let you know what your home is worth. So, the more information you have, the better. So give us a call, 586-232-5144, and we'll take care of all of your real estate questions.
All right, let's see if that fixed it.
It's still the same.
Wow.
Unless that's on my end.
Could be on your end.
Let's see.
I get it.
Let's try this. On my end. Oh, now you sound like the chipmunk. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's me. Here, I'll sign out and come back in. Let's see. I got to leave studio. All right. Let's see if that worked. Can you hear me? I hear chipmunks from you. So something weird's going on. If anybody's watching and hearing, chime in. Let us know. Was Brett's audio acting up there, or is it my side? What's going on? Brett signing in and signing out and signing back in. We'll see where it goes. But anyways, I was talking about this Buc-ee's Cup. Jill and her daughter went on a vacation down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So they had a good trip. When they came back, they brought back this wonderful Buc-ee's coffee mug for me. So, okay. So, all right. So Kevin is hearing it on his side too. So, all right. At least we've narrowed it down to whose computer is the issue. Now with Brett signing up, every now and then, for some reason, computers do updates or different things, and then we end up getting a conflict, and sometimes we have to sign in and out. But usually I'll do it at the beginning before we go live, and so we're able to fix it before we go on the air. For some reason, his was fine when we went live, but then it started acting up. So we'll see where it goes. He should be back in a second. In the meantime, you are all stuck with me. I could go here. Let's go. Pull up. I'm going to talk a little bit really quick about where you can find us. So like I said, we are fully shipped for our Kickstarter. But for those of you who like digital comics, we have Bardstone Comics on Drive-Thru Comics. This is our digital distributor here. I'll post a link here to them. Actually, I'll do a search for our Bardstone Publishing. That way the link will take you to all of our books. I recently had somebody looking for our books online. So I will show this here. Let's post the link. For the Bardstone digital editions, go to, there we go. All right, I'm posting the link in the comments there. So you can find our books through Drive-Thru Comics and .com. What's great about here is to create an account, it's free. There's no charge. And your books will download into a library, a digital library. So if you don't have enough space on your own computer or phone or whatever, don't worry. It doesn't have to take up space. You can leave it in your library, and then you can read it whenever you want through your digital library. But there is an option to also download the comics as well. So,
all right.
We got that back.
Okay, it's working.
You sound normal, but now you sound distant. So I don't know what's going on. Okay, yeah, as long as we can, that's what matters.
Yeah.
So I thought while we were waiting, I would just talk about Drive-Thru Comics since the Kickstarter's fulfilled, where people can go and find us. So I posted the link there. So, but yeah, it's a great little online distributor. So the link will take you to our Bardstone comics. But if you click to their main site, they have thousands and thousands of digital comics here. So you can save them all into your digital library and read whenever you want. So check it out.
Yeah, I got a couple under the Boomtown Press there, so I've had up there for a while.
Let me go put your link up for that. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're normal. You popped into being normal for your audio.
Well, I don't know. Yeah.
And you're
I don't know. Well, I don't know what it is. It's probably you, but
no, Kevin chimed in saying he can hear it too.
Yeah, well, yeah, the chipmunk. That was the chipmunk. That was something else. I heard that.
Here we go.
I don't know.
So here's the link to Brett's Boomtown Comics right here. Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right. So how have you been, Brett?
I've been good. Working a lot. I'm getting ready to head out tomorrow and take a few days off around the 4th. Actually headed down to visit up with Kevin and the family, and Kevin and I are going with Chloe to see Weird Al tomorrow night.
Oh, that's tomorrow night. Awesome.
Yeah. So looking forward to that because I've never seen him live. I've been wanting to see him live. So this will be fun. And I know he is here in Detroit tonight.
Yep. The local Great Lakes Garrison will be present for that one.
Yeah. So that was cool. You know, I assume they're doing, the same thing everywhere. So probably 501st, every place they go is going to help with that because he's doing a lot of his greatest hits.
Yeah.
All that. Like I said, I think we talked about this last week. I keep thinking this is close to being his last tour.
Yeah, it's got, well, I mean, age-wise, where's he at age-wise now?
He's in his 60s. I know that.
Weird Al. Let's see. He is 1959. So 66. He's going to be 66 in October.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And, he's made a decent living.
Well, he has. He was a valedictorian, and it was in college when he started submitting to Dr. Demento songs and things like that. And so he's definitely had a career that he crafted himself.
Yes. Yeah. It was all perfect timing where I think it was a mutually beneficial relationship between Weird Al and Dr. Demento.
Yes.
And both of them made each other, I think. And for those who don't know, Dr. Demento was a very popular radio show back in the day where it was all parody music. And
yeah, he played all funny stuff and comedy stuff. It wasn't just all parodies. He did so much different things, but it was all oddball things in that. But yeah, he was already huge when Weird Al started sending them to him. Weird Al was a big fan.
Yep.
And I think Weird Al really helped launch the parody side more of stuff than just the goofy records and things like that. And
I think Dr. Demento officially just recently
he retired. He's like 88 or something like that. So
yeah, I think they just did that, right?
Yeah.
Back in June, they did the final sign off after 55 years.
Yeah. And he's a big. I saw a thing, interviews with him a couple times over the years, and he's a big record collector. He really is into music more than just the music player, but he likes oddball stuff a lot. But yeah, he definitely is someone that was a little more than what people I would think he was. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Al on that stuff. And like I said, Al's had a great story of his life. But I think it's funny is when you hear about he kind of did some parody stuff. He talks about he tried to get the approval, and then he found out with doing the parody Amish Paradise that he didn't get the artist approval, and that kind of changed how he started doing things from then. That was in the 90s. Because he thought he was always getting the artist approval when he did some of the parodies, and a couple times he found that he wasn't. It was the studio or something like that, and he didn't want that because he wanted the artist approval. Because Coolio got mad that he did a parody of his song because that song was very personal to him,
right?
And for a long time, I guess he was mad at him, hated Weird Al and everything else. But then the checks started rolling in,
right? Yeah,
because Amish Paradise was a huge hit. So and that, but
yeah, technically he didn't need their permission, but as a professional etiquette, he always tried to get it.
Yeah, and well, it's one of the things too. If you're gonna sample the music and things like that, you still gotta pay it out, pay the royalties and stuff like that. It's like I always see something. I forget what song it is, but I think it's a Diddy song or something like that. But yeah, I think it's a Diddy song, and Sting gets paid like $1,000 a day,
a week. A day or a week. I can't remember which.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous, It's,
yeah. Yeah, and they're like, "Are you mad at him for doing that?" And Sting's like, "No, he put my kids through college."
Yeah, yeah, you get that kind of money rolling, and it's like, no.
Yeah,
so, but I guess before Coolio died, though, him and Al had actually talked, and they were not. He wasn't mad at Weird Al, and Weird Al was upset about the fact that he thought he had permission because he liked having the permission because he didn't want to be treated as a hack or anything like that. So. Of course, it was Madonna that gave him the idea for like a surgeon.
Yep. Well, it became almost a badge of honor to have him do one of your songs. It showed you made it.
Yeah.
If Weird Al did your song on the radio, it meant you made it and you were big. You've permeated the consciousness of society, of pop culture.
Right.
Yeah. And like like with the Coolio thing, some artists got it and were happy about it, and some artists I don't think understood it. They were more worried it would make them look funny or like belittle them, but it never did. It actually enhanced them because their song became better known to an audience that might not normally have heard them for the original.
So definitely looking forward to seeing him. And then it's Puddle's Pity Party is opening for him, the clown guy, who's got a really good voice. So it'll be interesting to see him live. Because I remember he went on like America's Got Talent, and Simon hated him.
Puddle's Pity Party?
Yeah, Google it. He does a lot of stuff. He's done stuff with the with some of the other things online. The Postmodern Jukebox. He's done stuff with them. He did the song "Never Be Royal," and things like that. He's got a good voice.
Interesting.
I think he's someone that I don't know if in his normal way he could have made it big, but creating a character has allowed him to sing and be out there. And
he looks like he. Yeah. Creepy clown.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I Weird Al's. You guys are gonna have fun. I only did one show where I was a stormtrooper. Got to go up on stage with there's a group of us that go up on stage with Weird Al when he's doing the Star Wars songs, and it's a lot of fun. But other than that bit that we're in, we're able to just watch the show, and it's a fun show and so many memories, like the different songs that you just like, oh, I remember that song, so many good ones.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. So what else have you been up to this week? I know after we saw you last week, you had some more real estate going on. And
yeah, just showing houses, that kind of stuff. Entering into 4th of July, it's usually a slow week or two as people go on vacations, and then it usually picks back up. So it's probably going to be a slow weekend here. But hopefully after the weekend, hopefully we see more listings pop up and get some more phone calls and all that fun stuff. But outside of that, just been working on different things. Working on the Crimson Shadows and the next book there, and had a new character, so I did some concept art for that character. So that was fun to do because I haven't just sat down and just drawn for the fun of drawing in a while. So that was nice to do. Yeah, you get so wrapped up in it. That's where doing sequential art is so different. It's work. You're really churning it out, and you've got to stick to what you're doing, to the script, and make sure everything matches up. But versus either cover art or pin-up art or fan art, where it's one shots, where you can just do something that's inspired and throw it out there and then move on. So it was fun to do that. Like I said, it's probably been like a solid year or two since I've actually just sat down just to draw a piece for fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I did that. Trying to think what else. TV wise, I told you off air, there's a series called Sirens on Netflix.
Yep.
It's got Miley Alcock, Kevin Bacon, Julianne Moore, and some others in it. It's an interesting one. It's only 5 episodes long. It's, how do I put it? It's just strange. I feel like it's allowing you to peek a little bit into like the weird side of wealth, where it can become a cult around the wealthy person, where everybody says yes and whatever that person says is right. And so long story short, this one of the sisters is there as the assistant and kind of getting sucked into the lifestyle, and this other sister comes to get her and sees what she is and wants to rescue her from this. And it's I guess you would call it a dark comedy, maybe, but it's interesting. I'll say that. Yeah. I still don't even know if I liked it, but it kept me watching.
Wikipedia basically said it's set over the course of a single weekend. It's based on a play from 2011 called El Amino P, which is created by Molly Smith Metzler. And it is a dark comedy. It's classified as that, as dark comedy.
Okay.
So it's things of gender, power, and social class. So I think I saw the trailer for this. It didn't appeal to me even to try to start watching it, but
we weren't planning on it. It's just we were bored. We're like, what's on? And we're going through and we're like, what are we gonna watch? And it's like, well, let's try this. And that's how we ended up watching it. I think just because it's different, it might be worth a one-time watch. Some of the characters are funny. Some of the parts are weird though, and it's just like, what just happened? So it's a little strange, but it's worth a check out. Maybe watch the trailer first and see if it's something that you'd want to see, and if so, check it out. It's not a long watch, like I said. It's only like 5 episodes or something.
Yeah. Well, I won't get into it. I watched the season 3 of Squid Game. It's the final season for the Korean take. There's supposedly an American version in the works, which I read about a while back. So we'll see if that happens. I don't know if how they're redoing it, or is it a continuation, or just another, okay, this takes place here versus there. And they kind of telegraphed a little bit of the ending. It wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't, you kind of just following through, but season 2 goes right into season 3. There's no time jump at all. It's still the same game. So technically you only get 2 Squid Games out of this, but you kind of learn, you're learning a little more in season 2 about the guy that's running the game. The old chairman was the original one that died at the end of season 1. He was player number 1. Okay. Yeah. But the one that ran the game with the mask is a different guy. Okay. So you learn who that is a little more. And actually he's part of the game in season 2. I figure for those really watch it, they're into season 3 know this already. So, and they revealed that pretty early on too. And there's a lot more side stuff going on too, that they're trying to figure out. And I mean, the whole thing really is, falls into the same kind of category as, things like a Hunger Games, Battle Royale, which was a Japanese movies from like 25 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever it was. Different things like that, purges, these, all takes place in kind of, where basically people are going to get killed.
Yeah.
And this,
what was it called? The Maze or something like that. The one
there's
with
the maze.
Dylan
Yeah.
O'Brien.
And that was based on a series of books as well. But yeah, Squid Game. I mean, Squid Games was interesting because it takes a lot of children's games, and some we don't know because they're kind of Korean based, but some we do know. Like Red Light, Green Light was the big one at the beginning. They had like Tug of War, things like that. So there's different ones that you see that you'll recognize as games, and and then and basically they don't all realize that there's a deadly consequence until that very first game when someone doesn't stop and they get shot.
Yeah.
And then you have all these guards that are wearing masks that have either like a triangle, a square, or a circle on it. It looks like the PlayStation kind of stuff they use
controllers.
On that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I found it very interesting. It wasn't bad. I watched there's only 6 episodes for season 3, and they wrapped everything up and stuff like that. So it wasn't bad. It was interesting.
Yeah.
The way they went about a couple of things, and it sounds like for some reading that they were originally looking at a different ending, but decided to go a different way with it. And you kind of get to like some of the characters, and then they get killed off, and you're kind of like, oh man, I like that guy or that gal, and I'd like to see a little more of that. So, and you can see how in the last season here, they do kind of have some other rich investors or whatever, or watching the game, and they're not betting on the game, but they, the main guy running is kind of telling them how people, basically the psychology of people, it's all based on here's what they're going to end up doing because this is the way people think, and it kind of is. So
right.
So I definitely check that out. That was a lot of fun.
Okay. Well, another one, I don't know if you want to do it now, is a trailer came out for a movie that kind of follows along the lines of the mindset of people watching entertainment wise, like gladiator type style of fighting or whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's the Running Man. It's getting a remake. Yeah. It's different though. It's different than the Schwarzenegger one. The Schwarzenegger one was a game show hosted by the ultimate game show host Richard Dawson, which really I think added a lot to that movie. If it had been just some generic guy, an actor, or whatever, but bringing out not just he was an actor, but a guy that truly has hosted game show and is just kind of embodied that whole 70s, 80s game show host thing. So
what I liked about that too, though, was his portrayal is he did a dark, twisted version of his real life self. So it wasn't purely Richard Dawson as you see him in Family Feud.
Right.
It was like he had a little bit of a mean streak in there, touched in there, and I that just gave it really a cool little twist, than what you're used to seeing with him.
Oh yeah. So, and this is done by Edgar Wright, stars Glenn Powell, who's playing Glenn Powell, because that's all he does is play Glenn Powell.
He's Glenn Powell.
But it's weird. So let's check this out.
35, married, 1 child, in medical crisis.
We need money for a doctor now.
Ben, watch yourself.
Employment status, blacklisted. But there's still a way out for you. It's the biggest show in the country.
Bloodlust is our birthright. Set it free. Welcome to the Running Man.
People on these games never come back.
I'm not trying to get myself killed, so kiss my ass twice.
Right there is why you can win this game. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days with the entire nation hunting you down. And get your family out of Slumside for good.
I'm gonna come back here and burn this building down. I promise.
That's the spirit.
This is America, goddammit! And we don't put up with no bullshit! Yes! Hunt him down! Stop filming me!
Have you ever wondered if this game is rigged?
Guess we'll find out.
You might be be moving up too fast.
Hey, buddy. You're on Freebie.
Yeah. You better run! I got a grenade!
Back at you.
I'm still here, you shit eaters.
Hey, big boys!
Are you crazy?
I think it looks fun.
It does. The only thing is the premise of he has 30 days to survive the entire country hunting him.
Yeah.
It's like, whereas the other one, to me, was more realistic in the sense of the confines of there were gladiators assigned to hunt you, and you had to get through them almost like levels. Like the entire country coming after you. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I like it.
Yeah, the game show side of it is going to be limited because you're not going to have like, coming out of retirement, and
The only thing I wish they did, the one thing I would change in honor of the original is like the whole game show hosting. Like have Pat Sajak be the game show host, or bring someone like that in.
Well, I mean, Sajak, I don't know how
Badass
Sajak
Pat
can handle
Sajak.
it. Yeah, I don't think Pat Sajak could be though. That's the only problem is in that. But yeah, there really isn't anybody game show wise that is like that anymore.
Well, right now, if you want to stick in the tradition of Family Feud, Steve Harvey could pull it off, I think.
Possibly, but he's the problem with that is Steve Harvey is Steve Harvey.
Yes.
And I didn't recognize the guy that's the host of this one.
Yeah, who was that? He looked familiar, but not at the same time.
So I'm gonna pull it up here and see what we got here for the cast. Bobby, it's Coleman Domingo, and he plays the host of that. So he has been in he did Sing Sing, The Four Seasons, The Madness, Rustin. He was in Fear the Walking Dead. That's where I know him from. I think it was wasn't he the boat captain?
Yep. That's who he is.
Yep. So, and a bunch of other stuff over the years. So he did The Color Purple, the remake recently, and he was in Candyman 2021. So
okay.
So yeah, I mean, he doesn't look bad. He looks like he's going to do a good job.
Definitely.
But getting an actual game show host anymore, I mean, the game shows out there. I mean, you got like Wayne Brady. Wayne Brady, maybe, because he does, but he's Wayne Brady. And that's one of the hard parts is you don't want somebody that's
Richard Dawson.
Richard Dawson was Richard Dawson, but when he came out, I think that was the great twist was he come out and when he saw him, he wasn't the Richard Dawson from Family Feud, which was the suave, kissing every woman on the lips when he
But prior to that coming out, we would have thought he's just going to be Richard Dawson. Like we wouldn't think he would have put that twist on himself.
And I think Wayne Brady possibly could have done that better because I mean he's done enough improv over the year. Drew Carey probably not. As well, but Drew Carey would have been an interesting one too, just because it would have matched up a little bit with the, that. But yeah, it's just tough to find those classic guys. So
there's not many game show hosts who are Ken Jennings. He's now kind of popular with Jeopardy.
I guess he annoys me. So
or Will Ferrell as Trebek.
No, maybe. Will Ferrell being Will Ferrell.
I know.
Will Ferrell as Alex Trebek.
And we would need a Sean Connery character to offset him.
Yeah. Suck it, Trebek.
But based on the trailer, I'll probably go see that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go see that. That comes out in November. I think it's gonna be a good popcorn movie. It's got a little of the John Wick element to it. Looks like. Yeah,
a little more realistic, whereas Schwarzenegger's was a little more cartoony.
Well, I think
the characters.
It was where the thing with this one here though, I think you're gonna see more of the actual world and what's really going on, and it sounds like it's a really, he lives in a slum and everything else. Where the Schwarzenegger one, he was a police or military
He was
pilot,
set up.
and he was set up that he wouldn't kill the people because of food riots. So obviously, it's similar type world where it's just a lot of riots going on because of lack of food and things like that. So
now I wonder, unless you've read it, I don't know, but it's based on the Stephen King novel. I wonder which of these two versions will be more true to the novel.
I don't know. And I don't know how much it was a story or just a novel by itself. Was it? Let's see here.
Oh, like a short story?
Yeah. He did. He published it under the Richard Bachman. Yep, it was paperback. Okay, so here we go. I'll put Wikipedia on this. It's only 219 pages. I may have to pick this up and take a look at it because it won't be that hard of a read. Let's see here. It's set. The plot is set. It's set in 2025. The novel was, where the movie, I think, the original movie was set in 2017.
Yeah.
Of course, back in 1980, what, 5 or 6 felt like forever. So.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if there's any direct ties, but I feel like it was definitely greatly inspired. The original Running Man movie came out in 87.
Yeah.
And then 2 years after that, Pop Culture TV had a new thing on it called American Gladiators. And it felt very much the same, like with how they had the gladiators and the Running Man with their personalities. And I do wonder if that show was like highly inspired by the Running Man movie.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, just quickly glancing over the plot of the novel, it sounds like it's very similar to the movie's gonna be very similar to the book, but it's gonna be changed a little bit here. Let me see. Well, he's declared an enemy state and released with a 12-hour head start before the hunters, an elite team of network employed hitmen, are sent out to kill him. He earns $100 per hour for staying alive and avoiding capture, and he gets $1 billion if he survives for 30 days.
Okay.
And then viewers can receive cash rewards for informing the network of his whereabouts. And then the runner is given $4,000 on a pocket video camera before he leaves the studio. He can travel anywhere in the world. He sends a video and send 2 messages. So it sounds very similar to that. So it doesn't sound like I thought the trailer kind of implied almost like everybody's hunting him, but maybe it is only a certain group.
Maybe by everyone they mean that viewers can snitch on them and be part of it through that way.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Whereas the Schwarzenegger one, it was kind of like a contained arena.
Right. Yes.
Like this giant arena, but like with a city landscape within the boundary lines, I believe. I don't think he was running anywhere he wanted.
Yeah. This one here, he's be able to go. Yeah. He was stuck in a certain area.
Yeah.
And then they could control the narrative with the.
And each gladiator had a zone or something.
Yeah. Because you get up in the one. Get into the one. It was an ice arena, and it was the one guy at.
I do hope Sub-Zero.
Yeah,
I do hope they have some of those kind of characters though that are like the bosses of each level, because it made it fun. The different fighting styles and scenes that they had that Schwarzenegger would have to take on. Yeah,
and that's what it's one of those movies I haven't watched in a few years, but it's not. But if someone said, "Oh, I'm gonna throw this on," I'd be like, "Oh, okay, cool." It's Running Man. It's over the top fun, and you got this is the gladiators rich thing, and you've got what's his name? Who's the wrestler? Governor of Minnesota.
Kane?
No, not Kane. It was from the 80s.
Oh, Ventura.
Yeah, Jesse Ventura. Yes.
Oh, that's right.
He came out of retirement.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Which is funny because you got those two together in Running Man, then they did Predator. So they had a nice little history there for a little bit, Schwarzenegger and Ventura.
Yeah.
So, but this looks good. I think it's really interesting. I may have to get the novel and read that. And I knew it was one out there. It's one I never thought of reading, so I'm gonna check that out. Like 219 pages. It's that'll be pretty fast reading.
Jesse Ventura was Captain Freedom.
That's right. Yes.
We had Jim Brown. I forgot about that. He was Fireball.
Yep.
Let's see. Who is Sub-Zero? Sub-Zero is Professor Toro Tanaka in real life. Mick Fleetwood was in it as Mick. I don't remember Mick Fleetwood being in there. Huh. Let's see. Buzzsaw. Remember Buzzsaw?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dynamo. Yeah, so those are fun characters.
Yeah. It's an interesting because that movie there kind of really predicted what we're seeing now with the AI stuff.
Right.
The ability to they were kind of more editing, but it's basically recreating stuff and changing the narrative. Because I mean, they
That's
called him
how
the
they
butcher.
framed them.
Yeah, they called him the butcher of Bakersfield, and they said he killed everybody. And they redid his voice and all the other
Mhm.
stuff. And then there's Maria Conchita Alonso that co-starred with him. That found out, but they threw her in the game, and
Mhm.
and it's funny because they're like, and she's had sexual relations with 2, maybe 3 men in a year or something like that. It's like, okay, so they didn't catch that right because you see some of these girls now posting, "I've been with 150 guys this week," and
Yeah.
so, but yeah, it's it's gonna be interesting to see that and compare the differences on that. So,
Maria Conchita Alonso. She's 70 now.
oh wow, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we're looking at what 40 years. So
I know. It's like time goes by so quick. It's crazy.
yeah. So it looks like there's a thing on Wikipedia about it. So the lawsuit determined the movie was plagiarized from an '83 French film, Le Prix du Danger, or The Price of Danger. It was made after this guy Robert Sheckley did in 1958 short story The Prize of Peril. So, and it was also just like the 1970 West German TV movie The Million Game. So I think that that one, when you look at what the book is more about versus what the Running Man was in the 80s, and it was like, okay, we'll just use the title and the basic concept of it. So,
well, I mean, like you mentioned earlier too, these dystopian movies, they all are kind of the same. The Hunger Games, it was a battle to the death, through games, and you go all the way back to Roman times with the Colosseum in history. It was there is an element of human nature that will want to watch something like that. It's been proven throughout history that things like that draw attention.
Well, and that's what it was with like the Hunger Games, the Purge, mentioned Battle Royale. They all have a similar theming of it takes place once a year. Those are all kind of like these 1 a year things. It's one-offs, and but they do it annually. And it's like the Purge was designed to eliminate crime and murder, except for a 12-hour period. That's what they used it as the premise. And then the Battle Royale was like a classroom, and then it was like one class was chosen, and they had to go and survive, and that was, and basically, if you watch that and watch the first Hunger Games, there's a lot of similarities there.
Oh yeah,
that I always felt like that she took when she wrote the first Hunger Games book, took from that movie, and probably didn't realize. If she did, she's probably thinking, oh, nobody really know about it, and then. Of course, going to Comic Cons, everybody knew about it at Comic Cons because they had bootlegs of it all over the place. So, and things like that. And The Purge, of course, was the first movie I always thought was kind of weak in a lot of ways, and you start rooting for the family to actually get killed that you're following, Ethan Hawke's family. But they did better ones after that that explored that 12-hour period, and then got into the one with the election season one with they tried to kill the one guy that was like a senator or something like that. And originally all the senators and all the politicians had like immunity, and you couldn't touch them. And you had to basically, they wanted the lower level people to kill themselves. It's a great way to reduce the population is what it really was. So
yeah.
But yeah, so
crazy stuff.
But speaking of killing people, I watched the last Final Destination Bloodlines.
Oh, that's right.
And that's why I said killing people. And I liked it. I hadn't watched since the second Final Destination. I don't know how many they did total. I think they did 4 or 5 of them. And I liked it. It was good. It was interesting because the main concept is you get the main character, and it starts with this flashback back to like the early 60s with a new restaurant opening, and it's like a high tower. It looked like the tower in Seattle, but it's not there, somewhere else. And you go through the whole thing of everything, one thing leading to another, and then you come to find out that it didn't happen that way because the woman that she's dreaming about is actually her grandmother, and her grandmother is in hiding from death. Basically, they really made death a real character without ever seeing death. And which is kind of what this was. Basically found that someone had a premonition, they didn't go, and then basically death hunts down everybody that didn't go. This is always the premise of these movies. And that I thought it was fun. I like the concept of these people didn't die, and then they had families. And so death was starting to had to go through each one individually from the oldest through as it got through. And there's like no way to really stop it. And they're trying to find a way to see if they can stop and cheat death. So
she needed a cloak of invisibility that works against death.
Yeah. So this is I was looking up, it's the 6th in the line of those. The first one since 2011.
Okay.
So I hadn't watched since the 2003 one, which is, of course, 22 years ago. But yeah, I liked it. It was good. It's one of those movies you just kind of sit back and you just watch, and you see that, and you it sounds gruesome and cruel when you think of it this way, but you kind of watch to see the intricate ways they kill the people. What happens, and it's a lot of just little happenstance, like a penny plays a big part of it at the beginning, and you'll see that as a recurring theme and stuff like that. So
do they still have the song Gone with the Wind or Dust in the Wind or whatever?
I don't
play
remember
before death comes.
No, I don't remember that. No,
that used to always come on like in the background, like on the radio or something. It meant death was coming.
Yeah, no, this one, death was kind of more visual without being physically there.
Okay. Nice. Let's see. Final Destination. Dust in the Wind, I think, is the Dust in the Wind. Isn't that the name of the song? Dust in the Wind.
And if it was there, I didn't notice it throughout the whole thing. So
no. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Dust in the Wind by Kansas. That's right.
Yeah. A lot of things the whole thing really showed off. I'm trying to think what the term is. It's like when you see people like I think like Goonies, they had they pushed the bowling ball, hit one thing to trigger another thing, to open up the gate.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. They did a different theme song for death in each movie. Now I don't know if it carried all the way through the one you saw, but each one had a different song.
That's right. Country Road, John Denver. Yeah, they used that in this one. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I'm trying to think what the name of it is when you have something like, you know what I'm talking about, though, with little things like that. And that's what you saw a lot of, like this thing triggered this, which led over to this, which led over to this.
And, a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, but it's like little things. It's like you set up a thing that you literally, like, you hit one and it triggers. So you saw it like in Back to the Future, a timer goes off and so it goes start the coffee pot.
Right.
I know there's a thing for it because they have big contests about it every year, and
and
so doing that, you see that a lot in this, and it's what I liked was like when she meets the girl meets the grandmother, and her mother's been long gone because they're trying to break the chain of events in some ways to save the family, and but she's in the house where she's built this compound, and she's very careful about every little thing, and then something happens and she notices something and starts triggering one thing, another. She stops it. She goes, "You ain't getting me today," basically. And so it was really good. I highly recommend it if you like those kind of movies. I thought they did a great job with it. I like the ending. I like the way they handled everything, and don't know if they'll do any more, but if it did revitalize the franchise, it'll be interesting to see what they can do next.
Cool. You see I don't know if you saw it or not, the story of when it was playing in theaters, opening weekend, I think it was. One of those theaters, the ceiling caved in and almost killed some people.
Oh, I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, it was in a different country, and people are putting, man, these 3D movies are getting out of hand.
Yeah, well, yeah. At that point, it's 4D when you can actually feel everything.
Yeah.
Against you, so
let's see. Theater collapse. Here it is.
Yeah.
It happened in freak accidents. The Cinema Ocho Theater in Argentina.
Oh, okay.
So everyone's like, oh, the person who had almost crushed, they're like, oh, she's got to watch her back now.
Yeah. Probably never watch another one of those movies ever again. Yeah.
Every time that song plays.
Yeah.
Country Road. Gotta hide.
Yeah. So movie wise, we're kind of kicking off the summer stuff. We got Jurassic World this weekend. Next week is Superman. Yeah. Next week is Superman. The week after that is the new I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Okay.
And then the week after that is Fantastic Four is the big one. So we got, every week they got a new kind of fairly big movie coming out. So kind of busy month. So I'd like to go see a couple of those, and it'd be tough to try to fit it in, but
I'm curious about the Jurassic World one. See if they can get this back on track. The last couple it's starting to fall away.
I watched the trailer a couple times to keep advertising stuff, and all I see out of it is not the same story where they're looking for their kid or whatever from Jurassic World 3, Jurassic Park 3, but it feels very similar. Let's just go back to the parks, and I know they're hunting for something, and it's just like they got the big giant. It's after the fact, get the big giant. It's like a full reboot to me was doing kind of like doing Running Man. Go back to the original source and do that. Do the original book, because the book is different from the movies. And that would be a great launching point to go from there. So
might even be better not even to do it as a movie, but a TV series, a streaming series, so that you can get like 8 episodes in for a season and cover more, be more accurate to the book, like you're saying, because the book it is a little different than the movies here, where So that might be a cool way to really explore the book.
Yeah. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, if you look at the basic plot of the original one, takes place in 1989. I mean, you said it whenever now, but it's about strange animal attacks occurring throughout Costa Rica. They believe it's an extinct dinosaur. You send in Alan Grant, they find out, that, John Hammond is the founder of bioengineering firm Engine, and, for a weekend visit to a biological preserve and construction of Jurassic Park theme park, of course, just like, and they go through the whole thing there. But I think that, there's a lot more they could do within that to create better story than. So I don't know. They really lost with the Jurassic World halfway through the second film when they left the island.
Yeah, it all fell apart once but even in the past Jurassic Park films too, when it's like once the dinosaurs make it to the mainland, it always falls apart. It's there. So that's kind of where they fall into trouble.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see where they go with this one. I think I'll see it unless I get busy and just don't have time for it.
All right.
But my plan is to go see that one. The other ones you named, I'm trying to think of
Superman.
Superman, I will see. I don't know. I'm not expecting to like it. I really hope I like it.
Yeah.
We'll see there.
Fantastic Four comes out 2 weeks after that.
Honestly, I'm getting so sick of Pedro. I'm probably not going to bother. I'm starting not to want to even see Fantastic Four. I mean, the guy won't shut up. And so it's like, I don't know. We'll see.
Yep. It'll be going. It launches when I'm in San Diego, so it'll be interesting to see the response then. That actually will be the key thing, is because we got, without telling too much of what was going on with Deadpool Wolverine, and these surprises, we had a lot of people that we saw it that were able to give some positive or feedback on it. You can tell how people were acting with that, and I've seen it at other shows when a movie comes out and I'm at a show and people are coming in, and you tell if they're excited about it or not, and usually if they're not, they don't even want to talk about it.
Right.
So,
well, another one no one's excited about is the Ironheart series, and there was a big reveal that just happened with a major villain.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see those headlines?
No, I haven't seen anything on that. So
yeah. Do you want me to say who?
Sure, go ahead.
Mephisto is officially introduced, which is one of my favorite villains, but it's being wasted on this Ironheart series. I'm not going to go watch it for him. Sacha Baron Cohen is playing him.
Okay.
So we'll see if he ends up in the MCU larger universe, which would make sense if they're going towards Secret Wars.
Well, they dropped this with 3 episodes one week and 3 episodes the next week. It's just 6 episodes.
Yeah.
So I know, and I've seen people. It's funny. Some of the posts I see, I'm like going, I just think you're just trying to post, say it's much better than what you think. It's much, and I see it all the time. Then I go watch it, and it's not.
It's not. No.
I didn't have any desire to see it in the first place. I haven't decided if I'm going to watch it or not. Now that I know they're all out, I might, eventually pop it on when I want to have something on. But
yeah,
I don't know. This falls into that. We didn't know what the hell we were doing, so we're just throwing stuff out there.
Right.
So I don't know how it's going to really tie into the current going forward of MCU.
Yeah, because it was supposed to come out like a year or so ago. I don't know if they've done any reshoots since. I don't remember hearing about reshoots. I think what they're releasing now was what they were going to release a year ago.
I thought it was going to be shelved.
Yeah,
and
that's what the original.
And then they decided to release it in that. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see because they may have realized that shelving it doesn't do us any good. There wasn't enough write off or anything like that. Or Warner Brothers kind of I think they're learning that maybe not shelving everything. So that company that bought the Porky and Daffy movie, it's now been released on Max, and it's the number 3 streaming movie on the Max platform right now.
Right. And
so it shows that people are wanting to see something. So that may bring out the Wile E. Coyote one that's supposedly done too. And then there's the Scoob 2 and then that Batgirl. I personally, I'm like, just release them on streaming. I mean, let people make the choice. You've got them already. So, or sell them to somebody that wants to release it separately now since you kind of wrote it off. But
yeah. And it's always weird when studios put the time, effort, and money into making something only to completely shelve it, even though it's done. Because you would think, you think it would make sense it's done anyways. Why not release it? But like the Batgirl, they were getting hit with a bunch of failures at once. So I think they were trying to really do damage control there for the franchise.
Well, kind of I think there's another thing to that is with switching gears and doing the new James Gunn DC universe. He's doing a Batgirl.
Right.
And so since he wanted to do that, they're like, well, we'll shelve this one because it doesn't fit what he was doing. It's not the same thing. And so they're just releasing it. And I think that's where it fell into more. The more and more I read stuff like that, it's like, I think it fell into more of the politics of, hey, we're relaunching this universe. You're coming out with something that's going to, that could cross contaminate what we're doing.
Yeah. We don't want to create a new fan favorite if we're just going to get rid of it.
Right. So, and that may be where it's at. There's talks of a crappy movie, is this or that. I'm going, well, you went through the whole thing knowing what the story was.
Yeah.
So
I just read too, and take it with a grain of salt. Everything can be rumors right now, but supposedly they're holding off on the Batman announcement until after, if Superman debuts strong, they're going to announce a Batman Superman World's Finest movie.
Okay.
Supposedly, but we'll see. You know what? I have read also this last week a couple announcements of other projects Tiki Waititi is supposed to be doing that supposedly are shelved from a few different franchises. So,
yeah, there's a lot of that stuff that you see different posts trying to say it's coming and it's not. There's a lot of me down in that. So a couple things more before we get out of here. One is Jim Shooter passed away.
Yes,
and I got to meet him several times over the years. I sat in a panel 20 something years ago here at Motor City before I was actually setting up, and there's 6 or 8 of us in there, and we just sat. He just came down instead of being on the panel thing, and everybody got in a circle, and he just told stories.
Yeah, he's a nice
for an
guy.
hour and a half, and he just had a lot of great stories, and he had there's a love-hate relationship with him on all levels, but he was definitely a force within comics. He passed away at 73. And then we got breaking news. They got the Diddy Combs trials done.
Oh, it's done?
It says in a split verdict, they found him guilty on 2 counts. Not guilty of sex trafficking and racketeering, though. Found guilty of transportation to engage in prostitution, but not guilty of sex trafficking.
Okay.
So So the racketeering is one they really wanted to get him on.
Right.
That's what they were saying. So, yeah, this one's too is weird. It's because it's such a long trial. And I was talking with Mom this morning. I said, it seems to me like the jurors just want to get out because it's the 4th of July weekend.
Could be. But it's such a high profile case and you hear almost nothing about it.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Well, they had a they didn't have any cameras in the trial, so this couldn't become sensational. As long as it went on, if this had been on TV, everybody would have been watching it. This could have been the new OJ trial. Point.
Yeah, you're right. The difference is the cameras in the courtroom.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so he was let out by marshals. So after that, I'm trying to see if they're saying how long he'll get or what he'll get. He may not have much time to spend. I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see what they end up with that, because again, it's just happening. So, but yeah, so I saw it. I was looking up something else to see was about Shooter, and then I saw that.
How are you found guilty of transporting people for prostitution, but not guilty of trafficking? Isn't that the same thing?
No, sex trafficking, I believe, would be technically selling someone. You're handing them off.
The driver.
He just drove. He took his woman to his. They came to his parties, and or he took them to a party or whatever, and they had to have sex with people, but he didn't lead them. He wasn't forced. They weren't getting paid too. They were just forced to have sex. So even though it says prostitution, there's a difference in there. But trafficking really is, sending someone off. You're selling them to someone else. They're moving them somewhere else. So there is difference in the law anyways. And the racketeering is what they really wanted him on. They were trying to get him on running a criminal enterprise.
Right.
So, so this will be interesting what the final result is. Because, I mean, even the news, it felt like they were all, saying, almost leading towards he was guilty, and the way the news was trying to portray it. So,
well, almost every interview I've seen regarding involving rappers over the last 10 years, they all, when Sean Diddy's name comes up, they all would be like,
well, different stories I see him. We're not going to talk about him here, but
yeah,
definitely
50 Cent spoke out a lot about him.
Yeah. Well, even a couple of the comedians.
Yep.
Cat Williams was real big on.
What
he saw and was not playing. It had nothing. He said, "I had nothing to do with it. I didn't want nothing with it." So
it definitely comes across as one of those Hollywood secrets that everyone knew.
Yeah,
everyone in Hollywood knew the secret. They just didn't talk about the secret.
Right.
But well, trial's done.
Yep. And then last thing, Red Wings icon Alex Delvecchio passed away at 93.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Jimmy Swagger did too, but who cares? Because he has sinned against us. He said so. But so that's it, man. That's it for this week. You guys have a safe, happy 4th of July.
Keep all your fingers.
It's gonna be hot everywhere.
Don't poke an eye out.
Don't blow off a thumb or a toe or whatever.
You all have 10 fingers and 10 toes.
Yeah.
Next weekend.
And remember when you find that stuff off, about people's pets and also veterans. Keep that in mind too, where you're setting that stuff off at, because some people do not handle the loud booms very well.
Yeah,
as well as pets. So,
or even those of us who are just trying to sleep and don't want to be up till midnight.
Exactly. But
that'll be me.
Yeah, that's you. You'll be out by 8.
Nabbit. Go to bed. It's past 8:30. Go to bed.
Yeah, Scott's not even get off my lawn. It's get off my air. You're in my space. All right, we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Take care.